Hello and welcome to Meanwhile in the Falklands with me, Katie Beattie.
And me, Hannah Newton. And guess where we are?
I know you can hear a little bit more background noise than usual today, and that's because we are at the Macmillan Coffee Morning.
At the museum, where I am stuffing my face with a lovely savoury muffin.
Exactly. So we're going to get people in throughout this podcast to come and tell us what the Macmillan Coffee Morning here is all about. But for now, we just want to say that we're having some delicious cake and tea, which is good, isn't it?
Yes. I'm surprised actually at how much cake people have made from the community. It just goes to show how close the community is here and closely knit. There's mountains of cake.
Exactly.
Honestly, it's like a feast, a medieval feast.
And when we did the warm-up for this Macmillan Coffee Morning, I think we were told that it's one of the biggest in this part of the world, isn't it?
Yes, I think so. It's quite a big event, and I think it's happening worldwide at the moment. So as we speak, people across the globe are having their tea and cake too.
Exactly. So the Falkland Islands is definitely joining in. So what have you been doing this week, Hannah? What have you been working on?
I've been working on a piece on Stoptober, warming up to stop smoking. Obviously, it's coming up to October. We're trying to get people to stop smoking. So I did a little piece where I went around and interviewed lots of different people, healthcare professionals, people who've previously given up smoking, people who are trying to give up smoking, to kind of push people to giving up for October. And for me, like, I gave up smoking 3 or 4 weeks ago now, and I feel great. And I used to smoke quite a lot, so that I'm now trying to promote it to everyone else.
And how has it been? Is this the first time that you've tried to give up smoking?
This actually isn't. This is the second time, but this is the first time that I've actually probably put 100% into giving up and actually wanted to give up. Whereas last time I thought I wanted to, but I didn't. And whereas this time I just think, I don't need it, it's unnecessary in my life, it's expensive, and now I feel a lot better health-wise as well.
Amazing. And do you think Stoptober is a good push for that, like it being a set amount of time and lots of different people across the world are doing it?
I think it is. I think it's good because it's coming up to Christmas, coming up to New Year, it's New You, do you know what I mean? I think that a lot of people who do smoke think I could never give up.
Sure.
It's one of those things that it takes over your life. You're so used to doing it, it's a habit. But the first step is making the appointment. You know, make an appointment with your local hospital, go and speak to your local stop smoking advisor, and then you'll get a plan in place.
I think that's a really good tip to carry on through Stoptober. Hopefully other people will hear this and join in with you.
Exactly.
So this week I've been sort of off the news game and been working on our social medias because next week...
It's very exciting,
it is,
isn't it?
So this is a big shout out, pre-warning to everyone out there listening. We are having a sale. Who knew a news station could have a sale?
Woo! Black Friday.
Yeah, exactly. But we are giving 50% off for 1 week only if you subscribe for a year online, which basically means that you get our news programme, a weekly news programme, and the odd extra thrown in there for £30 for a whole year, which I think is a pretty good deal.
That is a good deal. Too.
So I've been using the powers of social media to get that out there and encourage people to come in and sign up.
So if you just listen to us at the moment on the podcast, you may as well now take advantage of this discount and sign up and watch FITV, get a subscription, watch us online. You can see what we actually look like behind the voices.
Exactly. I know. Who knows? So I think
you're missing out. Missing out on seeing our faces.
So that's what we've been working on this week. But I think it's about time now that we pulled in our first guest to talk about the Macmillan Coffee Morning. Right, so we are now joined by our mystery first guest. Who are you, guest?
Hello, I'm Roger Edwards. Good morning.
And what do you think about the coffee morning today?
I think it's absolutely wonderful. It's up to the high standards that have been set by the museum and their staff for many, many years. And I think it's absolutely wonderful. And it's good to see such a turnout.
It is, isn't it? There's so many people here, as well as baking loads. I feel like everybody's come along to try and support as well.
I don't know where all the cakes come from. I think they must have elves making cakes overnight or something or other. We even have frozen boxes of cakes.
My goodness, is this the first coffee morning that you've been along to?
No. I go to all the ones I can get to. I brought back because I didn't think there was going to be a book sale here today, but there's just cake.
Or is that a bag to put all the leftover cake in and take a big bag full of cake home?
Well, it's not bad, is it? They do have a good supply of cake, I think there will be quite a lot.
And why do you think it's important for a community like the Falkland Islands to be holding these events, which are worldwide events, really?
Well, it's Macmillan nurses, they do a wonderful job, and when all else fails, the Macmillan nurses are the ones who step in and see them out. I think it's a wonderful job. And we do have an awful lot of cancer, terminal cancer here in Falkland, so Macmillan nurses and everything they do right across the world, I take my hat off to them. They do a wonderful job.
Thank you very much for that, that's perfect. Thank you for joining us.
Right, we've now got mystery guest number 2. Who are you and what's your name?
My name is Norma Edwards, and I've been around a long time.
Are you a Falkland Islander, born and bred Falkland Islander? Or?
I am indeed, yeah.
And
yeah.
how many coffee mornings have you been to? Macmillan
I
Coffee
think
Mornings?
I've probably been to everyone. Maybe not everyone, because I was in the camp for 28 years. We had a farm. So some of them I miss, but I came to everyone that I could.
And what do you love most about the coffee mornings?
Well, I like it because it's a jolly good smoko. You meet all your friends. But apart from that, I think it's one of the best causes there is. The Macmillan nurses do a wonderful job, and they look after people at the worst time in their lives, and they're wonderful people, I think, Macmillan nurses. So I'm always happy to support anything to do with cancer.
Plus, there's cake. Lots of cake. What's
the cake? Yeah.
What's your most favourite cake? Here we go. Not, it doesn't have to be here, but your favourite cake in general.
Oh, my favourite cake in general, I suppose, is coffee cake. Yeah.
That sounds nice.
I think that's got to be the quote of the podcast so far, a jolly good smoko. I think
Yeah.
we'll pull that one out. I like that.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Well, we'll let you get on and carry on eating cake and having coffees. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Perfect. Okay, so mystery guest number 3, who are you?
Who am I?
Yes.
I am Andrea Barlow.
And who are you with the museum? Tell us that.
Yeah, I work here at the museum. Director.
You've been the organiser of this event, have you not?
Yes, no. I mean, we've been doing this for the last 4 years now, and as you can see, it's always very successful.
It is certainly, and the amount of cake that people have baked. So how many people contribute to making today what it is?
Lots of people. They were here sort of before 9 o'clock with all their cakes, but it's going down so quickly. I mean, a lot of people have taken a lot of food away, so we are kind of like running out pretty quickly. But hopefully the money will, will reflect that.
Were you up into the wee hours of the morning baking last
Well,
night?
do you know what? I took yesterday afternoon off, and I was baking sausage rolls, cakes and stuff. And then we had a power cut, which lasted about 3 hours. I had sausage rolls in the oven at the time. And so I lost some of them, and then I couldn't finish baking. And of course, by the time it came on, it was like 10 o'clock. So that was it. So I was
it could have all been over.
I was just too tired. I was like, that's it.
Well, if that's the first nightmare, then that's out the way. But as far as you can tell from today, do you think it's going as well as it has done other years?
I think there's more people here than last year. I think there's more food than last year. I think last year it took a little bit of a dip.
Right.
I don't know why, but it did take a little bit of a dip. Yeah, but so we will see.
And what's the best thing that you get out of organising today?
Oh, it's just knowing that you're going to help someone, and that's what it boils down to, and I think it's important because when people from here get diagnosed with cancer, obviously they have to go away to the UK to receive that treatment, and they will get, the help, either financial support or just other support from a Macmillan nurse. So I think it's a good thing for Ireland here to support.
Sure. And why do you think, as well as that, a community like this, so we're quite far away from the UK in some respects, but in others obviously not, why do you think it's important that we are also contributing towards Macmillan?
Well, because they help us, and that's, we go over there, they help us, so this is just our little bit. And, okay, I mean, you can see there that we've raised, most years, well, all years over 3,000, on a couple of years, almost 4.
That's amazing.
just from cake and a raffle on one day.
God,
and
that's
it's
good.
not.
That's crazy.
It is, but it's not. It's not. You know, it's not a huge amount in the grand scheme of things. But you know, for a community this size,
And just for tea and cake as well.
exactly,
You know?
for a few hours selling cake.
But everyone loves
Awesome.
cake. I think that's the moral of this story. Is
Everybody does
loves
love
a nice big
cake. They do, but we have a lot of savoury things this year. Yeah,
I'm more of a
because
savoury too.
and a
I've
lot
gone
of
mainly savoury.
absolutely a lot of people are. A lot of people do like their savoury stuff, and a lot of people will come down at lunchtime. And of course, you know, they might not necessarily want cake. So I'm really happy to see that a lot of people made lots of savoury bits.
So,
Which
how much money are you hoping to raise this year? Are you hoping to beat previous years?
no, I think if we can just make the 3,000, we've always aimed for the. We started off with the 3,000. We've kept it above 3,000. So I'd be over the moon if we went over
Fingers crossed.
3,000.
We'll all be crossing our fingers on our
Oh,
stage.
yeah.
Well, congratulations on such a fantastic
Yeah.
morning so
Thank
far.
you, ladies.
Thank you for talking to us.
Some more cake.
So that was all our guests here. So now we're going to go and talk a little bit more about what went on this week. So there was a public meeting that happened where there was a lot of talk about the new sports facilities.
Yeah, that's been a big hot topic of discussion, hasn't it?
It certainly has, but that tied in really nicely with someone who we got a comment from on Facebook, as we mentioned last week, who wants to hear a little bit more about sport in the islands. So I think, Hannah, you're actually quite a good person to have here on this because you are a trier, I would say. You go around,
I'm a doer.
you go around and try lots of different sports,
Yeah.
don't you? So since being here in your 6 months, how many different sport clubs have you attended?
Oh God, I've done quite a few bits. To be honest, at the moment, what I'm doing is going to a lot of classes and trying out new things. So I've been yogaing. I want to do the free skate, the inline hockey stuff. That's my next thing that I'm looking to do. What's next? Archery. I'd like to have a go at. I'd like to have a go at shooting. I've done the air pistol in the container, which was fun, with Nev Middleton. He was a good teacher. But I just want to try new things.
And before you came down, did you imagine that there would be this amount of choice of sport?
Well, I didn't realise that sports was so important, but I guess it's a close-knit community. A lot, what are you going to do? You team together, you go and you play a lot of sports, you do stuff like that, and it's probably similar to Selkirk, where you're from.
Yeah, I think so.
Because it's a small community, rural community, it is a lot of community events and community sports and this and that.
Yeah, exactly. I think for me coming down here, sport's always been a massive part of my life, so I loved the fact that when I got down here it was the same. So I sort of automatically joined and started playing ball hockey and deck hockey, which is so much fun. You know, I'm coaching one of the kids' hockey teams, I'm playing in my own hockey team, and it's great to have that little competitive outlet for me as well. But another thing that I'm doing at the minute is in training for the Island Games.
Yeah,
swim
you're
trip.
excited.
I'm excited, but I've still got that competitive time to meet before I actually qualify.
You've got what? 7-8 months till Island Games?
Exactly, and I know that a lot of the other clubs that are going as well are in training already, and I think that just shows how many different sports the Falkland Islands send to the Island Games. I think it's amazing.
But I also think a lot of people here are quite committed. When they do a sport, they go like 100% into it and focus into it and give it everything, and that's their life. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Which is good, I think.
Yeah, at the minute we're training 2 or 3 times a week, which is difficult when it's rainy and windy.
I was going to say, looking out the window now, it's absolutely pouring, and I think I don't envy you out there running.
Yeah, we're doing some hill sprints up Tumble Down later, so that's where the runners are at the minute for the Island
You have to
Games.
get those spikes in the bottom of your shoes to stop you from sliding down the mud.
Exactly. But I think it's really great that they are having talks about a new sports facility coming in, and having a look at that, because it is such an important part of the community down here. So let's think about next week. We're sort of coming to the end of our podcast here.
Yeah.
But what are you up to over the next week?
So I'm heading off to the motocross on Sunday, which is at Long Island, which I was a little bit out in camp. I think it's on a beach. It should be quite exciting. Sounds very tropical. Don't think it's going to be like that, because looking out the window, it's still raining. But yeah, no, I don't actually know that much about motocross, but you know a little bit, don't you, Katie?
I know a little bit, yeah. I think sort of there's different types, but I think how they'll measure it is they'll probably set them off at different times, and then if it's a track, they'll all go at once and it'll be a flat race. But if it's a longer one, then they set them off at different times, and it's about time and how they come round and things like that. But there should be quite a lot of people, and they do different classes.
Well, this is the thing. I'm most looking forward to seeing the kids go around because I think they'll be quite sweet on their little bikes.
Peewees.
Yeah, peewees.
Yeah. So that I think that'll.
And I'm hoping maybe that I can have a go on a bike too, but I don't know about that. We'll see.
We'll
Might
see.
be a bit of a stretch.
So how are you planning on covering the Motocross Day, and how can people watch that if they want
Well,
to see it?
I'm hoping that I can do a 3-camera job. So I'm hoping to take the drone, but looking at the weather, if it's too windy, I won't be able to fly it. So get the drone up, get a GoPro on someone's helmet, and then film the rest on the camera.
Sure.
So it should be quite good.
And
But
if
if
people
people
wanna
want to
watch
watch it, that will be on our Facebook page. Clips will be on our social media, but also they can watch it on FITV.co.uk. Subscribe, because there's a sale on at the moment.
There is a sale, half-price sale for next week only. Subscribe and see all
and
the
then you can
Falkland
watch
store.
the motocross. I'm hoping eventually that maybe we can do some more coverage of the motocross and make it a regular thing.
Yeah, and
But
just
we'll see.
depending on how stretched we are, I think covering lots of different sports, and we always cover sports, so I think it's great. £30 for a whole year of seeing Falkland Islands sport and loads of other things.
Bargain. And then you can see what the Falkland Islands is actually like if you don't live here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
What are you up to next week, Katie?
Tomorrow. Oh, no, it's Sunday as well, sorry. I'm covering the Memory Walk, which is something that's being put on, and people are walking from the Jetty Centre all the way to the Hospital Day Centre, I think it is, and this is all about raising awareness of dementia and raising some funds and things like that, because it's something that affects lots of different people in life, really.
And all ages as well. I think that's one of the things that a lot of people think, oh, it just happens when you get older. Not true. All ages. And I think it's one of those events as well that is similar to Macmillan Coffee Morning. It will be going on worldwide.
Exactly,
Which would be good.
exactly. So it's really, I do think that it's sort of similar to Day really. I think it's amazing that the Falkland Islands are getting involved in these worldwide events that are raising awareness and raising funds for such amazing causes.
Exactly.
For sure.
Small community, putting their 2p in and helping out.
Exactly. Well, I think that's a wonderful place for us to end here at the Macmillan Coffee Morning.
I need to go and eat some more cake.
Exactly, I know. I've had a bit of cake staring at me all the way through this, so I'm going to go into that. But thank you very much, listener, for joining us. You can, as we say, subscribe on fitv.co.uk, go to our social media channels, and let us know what you
Subscribe
thought.
now because we've got a sale on.
Exactly. Let us know what you thought about this very special podcast episode from the Falkland
Yes,
Islands.
and if you are at a Macmillan Coffee Morning anywhere in the world,
send us
enjoy
your
it.
pictures.
Yeah, send us your pictures.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye.